All right, so to get started, first things, thank you to our Ohio, Kentucky chapter benefactors, as always. Our Diamond benefactors, Interface, Patcraft, Shaw Contract, Platinum, Tarkett, Gold, J&J Flooring, Mohawk Group, Silver, Alumar Osteel, Hamilton Parker, Hayworth, HDA, and Mannington. Bronze, APCO Signs, Armstrong, Bruce Longino Group, Continental Office, Dan Benford and Associates, Dupler Office, Hampton Products, IDNA, Kimball International, King Business Interiors, Loth, Miller Knoll, Milligan, Steelcase, Dimley and Associates, Technion, Tim O'Neill and Associates, and then also to our A&D firms, Pulaski Cleveland, Champlin Architecture, Henstem Architects, HITI at D Francisco and Siebold, and NBBJ, Trinity, NAC, and WSA. So to start off, for our goal for these coloring books is to create a coloring book that is available to children of all ages, serving as a tool to educate young minds about the field of interior design. So this is open to the entire chapter in all city centers. So we'll be spearheading it from Columbus. So after the books are printed, we will be handing them out to each city center for them to be passed out along to the other local communities. The goal is for these books to go to children of the next generation and BIPOC communities who may not have exposure to interior design, and teach them that this is a viable career option for them who may not typically be exposed. So schedule for this, today we're having the launch party and starting our call for entries, which we'll get into more detail next. June 24th is going to be our deadline for these entries. So the entries are going to be for the coloring book pages. And then we'll be judging those and critiquing to see who will be into the published coloring book. July 29th will be the notice of entry status, whether or not those have been accepted. And by August 26th, we'll hope to be distributing those to our local communities. And I'll hand it off to Maddie if you want to talk about the submission requirements.
All right, so more can be found at the IIDA Ohio Kentucky website on this. There's an entire submission packet or entry form packet that goes along with this, and an actual entry form to submit with your images of your coloring book pages. Catherine just dropped that in the chat, that link. So if you're familiar with coloring book pages, this will all kind of make sense. Black and white line art only for our users to be able to color in whatever they want in between those lines. We're sticking with the dimensions of 8.5 by 11 portrait sheets of paper so that they can all be aligned pretty similarly in the template that we'll put together. And we're looking for high resolution digital files. We're keeping it open-ended just in case you are maybe comfortable in working digitally or maybe by hand to create this in a JPEG or PDF format. So whatever can be distilled down into one of those options at 300 DPI or a vectored PDF. And so to be eligible to for submitting, respond to one of the provided submission categories, and we'll talk about that. Complete the contact form, and so we'll show where you can access that with the entry form and information, and then including a description of your coloring page design. So along with whatever the visual is that you're wanting to insert into the page, we're wanting to give a little bit more background and make this an educational experience for the kids that are going to be using these coloring books, of how maybe you got into the industry of interior design, what your passions are, and what you want users of the coloring book to know about the field. So to enter, you can go to www.iidaohky.org, and under the Advocate tab, go to Coloring Book. You can scroll down to Register Now to fill out the entry form and get access to the drop Dropbox link to upload your work. So you do have to register in order to get access to that Dropbox link.
We can show you really quickly, do a quick
Yeah.
tutorial to get there.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing. I think Catherine's going to share her screen.
See the website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we go to the Advocate tab and coloring book pops right up for us. So then there's a little bit of information. You can see our call for entries packet, and you can view this here as well as download it. And then register your designs. You'll click register now. And all you have to do is put in your name and information, and then you'll get an email confirmation that has that Dropbox link.
Just to add, you will need to upload the entry form with your design as well.
And as far as how we're scoring these, we'll be working with a blind jury to look at the different entries that we're getting and assigning different scores to each of these categories: overall design, advocacy, responsiveness, and presentation. These are outlined a little bit more in detail in the rubric in the entry form. And so some examples of what we might be looking for. OSU put out a really great coloring book that included pages on interior design, in addition to the other design disciplines that their program offers to teach people specifically about the program at OSU. So this is going to be more focused specifically on our field of interior design, and maybe include just a broader depth of what the profession entails, what it means to have an education in interior design, and the impact that we can have. So these examples give a good idea of maybe what we're looking for in terms of educating others, showing people what is involved in this career, and just some good coloring book practices as far as using the page, getting a good composition together. We can maybe pull in some ideas about that golden ratio, or the, what's that other one? The thirds of page layout that maybe we haven't used in a while, but also just making sure that we have enough white space for kids to be able to color in, and good solid lines to demonstrate where those endpoints are. So it doesn't have to look exactly like this, but just some examples. And then I'm not sure if we skimmed past the page about the categories. I think that was before the rubric.
Let me back one more. Sorry, guys, computer's going a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptance, rubric, categories.
Okay, these are the different submission categories. So this is one of the needs for submitting, is to pick which of the categories you think that your design most aligns with, or use these as inspiration for coming up with ideas for your coloring book page design. Learning design. So this is all about maybe if you're currently in an interior design program, or reflecting on your experience in a design education, how you could visually relay that. Being a designer, so all of the different facets that we might cover within a design profession, whether it's from residential, commercial, maybe even working as a rep for different companies. Advocating for an interior design field. And so that could look like a lot of different things, but really promoting ourselves and our profession. designed spaces. This might be just completed design spaces that might teach or open up ideas about different materials, colors, patterns that we use in our finished space, interior spaces. And then patterns, textiles, and layouts. This is maybe we were thinking of this more as being a 2D reflection. So something that's more reliant on repeated shapes, opportunities to play around a lot with color, or it could even be maybe more of a typical floor plan view. All right, I just wanted to touch on that one because I know we, I think we skipped over it, but.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, I think this one we also needed to just touch on real quick. We, as far as acceptance, we are also going to integrate a people's choice submission, which will involve posting the accepted entries onto our website and having people vote on a winner for people's choice. As we said, submissions will be anonymous for judging. Notifications will be sent to those who have designs published in the coloring book by that deadline. And then acceptance will be given based on the discretion of the judges, so using our rubric. And I know I saw this in the chat just now about the number of coloring book pages. We're still determining that. And this will partially be determined by how many entries we get and the caliber of those entries. We definitely want to be inclusive and hope that you guys will give us some good options to look at. And we'll promote and recognize the winners once we have all of those pulled together. And I know in the chat too, Catherine answered this about cost. This is going to be free. So thanks to our benefactors, this is one of our key events that we're putting together, and hope that we will plan to share with all of the other city centers and kids in those areas.
So we have another question in the chat. Are we able to buy a coloring book for ourselves? I can take this on. I don't think that we've quite determined that yet. We're still working through the logistics with a printer. And so we will let you know when we have more information.
Any more questions? And we're kind of breezed through that, but and I can stop sharing so we can see people's faces and
I think, hi, Christina. I think we will also, we're going to be posting this recording on our website. So if you come back and you have any questions as you're going through it, definitely feel free to check back in, and also share it with anyone else that you think would be interested. We're really excited to see what kind of variety we get in for these different coloring pages. And we think this will be a lot of fun to pull together.